All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're constructing a really robust understanding of the four major types of conjunctions and exactly how they structurally elevate your language. Because honestly, whether you're drafting a quick email to your boss, writing a scholarly article, or just trying to win an argument online, the words you use to connect your thoughts are just as important as the thoughts themselves. They are literally the hidden architecture of communication. So, welcome to this masterclass on conjunctions. So, here's our roadmap for the masterclass. We're going to cover grammar's essential bridges, look at equal partners with coordinating conjunctions, balancing twins for correlatives, and shifting power with subordinating conjunctions. After that, we'll tackle conjunctive adverbs and commas, and wrap it all up by analyzing conjunctions in academic writing. Okay, let's kick things off with part one, grammar's essential bridges. I want you to think about your own writing for just a second. Ask yourself, how do you naturally link your thoughts together so you don't sound, well, completely disjointed? Imagine if every time you spoke, you only used short, simple sentences. Try saying it out loud right now. I went to the store. I bought milk. I came home. It doesn't just sound like a choppy robot, right? It literally hides the whole relationship between those actions. Did you go to the store because you needed milk? Did you come home after you bought it? To communicate complex, flowing human thought, we need a special kind of grammatical glue. A conjunction's primary job is to connect words, phrases, or clauses to each other. They provide cohesion, they establish logical relationships, and they guide your reader really smoothly from one concept to the exact next one. Think about building a brick wall. If you just stack bricks on top of each other, a strong gust of wind is going to knock the whole thing over. But if you apply mortar between those bricks, they bind together into an impenetrable, weatherproof structure. Without conjunctions, our language is just a pile of isolated bricks. With them, we can build beautifully structured, persuasive arguments. Moving right along to part two, equal partners, otherwise known as coordinating conjunctions. Think of these as a bridge connecting two identically sized islands. You've probably heard of the famous FANBOYS acronym. It stands for the 7 coordinating conjunctions that serve as simple equalizers in your sentences. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Now, the fundamental rule for these equalizers is that the grammar on the left side of the conjunction has to carry the exact same weight as the grammar on the right side. You connect nouns to nouns, verbs to verbs, or independent clauses to independent clauses. You use and to stack info together, but for a direct contrast, or for a choice. Yet is actually fantastic for an unexpected twist, like saying, the test was difficult, yet everyone passed. And so draws a clean line right to a result. These are absolutely the workhorses of everyday English. Just notice how seamlessly the coordinating conjunction and transforms two choppy thoughts into one beautifully balanced compound sentence. In the first item, you have two completely separate sentences. Both clauses are independent, meaning they could stand alone, pay their own rent, and live happy lives as their own sentences. But placed back to back, they feel really abrupt. In the second item, by adding a simple comma and the word and, boom, you create balance. That comma is the crucial sidekick here. When you're joining two independent clauses, that comma lets the reader know a major transition is happening right before the bridge. All right, part 3, balancing twins, or correlative conjunctions. I love calling these the balancing twins because they require total teamwork. These conjunctions always come in matched pairs, and they demand absolute parallel structure on both sides to ensure the elements they balance are grammatically identical. This is where so many writers accidentally trip up. Notice that first example. You can't just drop the also. The pair is a package deal, not only and but also. Other examples are either or, neither nor, and both and. The golden rule here is parallelism. Whatever grammatical structure follows the first half of the pair literally has to mirror the structure following the second half. If you say, she is not only a great chef, but also likes to run fast, you've broken the balance. You paired a noun phrase with a verb phrase. It needs to be, she is not only a great chef, but also a fast runner. Perfect symmetry. Let's shift gears to part 4, shifting power with subordinating conjunctions. So if coordinating conjunctions create equal partnerships, subordinating conjunctions create a boss and employee dynamic between your clauses. Let's walk through the 4 main functions. First up, cause and reason. Words like because or since. If you say, because the coffee machine broke, productivity plummets. Because the coffee machine broke cannot stand on its own. It relies entirely on the main clause. Next is time. Words like before, after, or until. Think about, I will finish the report after I eat lunch. The power dynamic shifts to specify exactly when an action occurs. Then we have condition, if, unless, or provided that. Like, unless you study, the test will be hard. Finally, contrast, although or whereas. Although it was raining, they played golf. And hey, here's a massive pro tip that will instantly upgrade your writing. If the dependent clause comes first in the sentence, like, although it was raining, you absolutely must put a comma after it. But if the independent clause comes first, as in, they played golf although it was raining, you drop the comma entirely. Now for part 5, conjunctive adverbs and commas. Conjunctive adverbs are fantastic transition tools. Words like however, therefore, furthermore, and in summary. But they contain a punctuation trap that catches even the most experienced writers. Listen to this sentence. The vaccine was created. In summary, cases of the virus decreased. That is grammatically illegal. You have just created the dreaded comma splice, mashing 2 complete sentences together. Conjunctive adverbs simply do not have the grammatical strength to glue 2 independent clauses together with just a tiny comma. It's kind of like trying to use Scotch tape to hold a car bumper on. It's just not going to hold. To fix a comma splice like this, you have to upgrade your punctuation. You basically have 2 elegant choices. The first is to just use a period to create 2 distinct sentences, simple and clean. The second choice is to use a semicolon right before the conjunctive adverb and a comma right after it. A semicolon is actually strong enough to hinge those 2 independent thoughts together while maintaining that sophisticated transition word right in the middle. Remembering this single punctuation rule will instantly elevate the professionalism of your writing. Finally, part 6, conjunctions in academic writing. Let's see how all of this plays out in the real world. Data from the Journal of Applied Linguistics and TESOL studying advanced research articles shows exactly which grammatical bridges dominate high-level academic writing. Additive conjunctions, words like furthermore, moreover, or additionally, are constantly used to stack evidence and extend information. Right behind them are adversative conjunctions, like however, nevertheless, or conversely. These are absolutely vital for contrasting ideas and acknowledging counterarguments. Causal conjunctions, like therefore or consequently, are present but slightly less dominant. Think about why this happens. When you're writing scholarly research, you are methodically building a case. You add evidence, you address opposing views, and you conclude. Add, contrast, conclude. This data literally maps the architecture of scientific debate. What is truly surprising in this JOLT study, however, is this exact number, 0. Exactly 0 temporal conjunctions were found in the study's corpus. Temporal conjunctions are words related to sequence and time, like next, meanwhile, subsequently, or finally. An absolute absence of these connectors indicates a massive blind spot for process building among these writers. Imagine you are reading a research paper and trying to replicate a complex lab experiment, but the author entirely forgets to use sequence words. Without first do this, meanwhile observe that, and subsequently measure the result, the reader is just completely lost. It goes to show that while you might be brilliant at adding and contrasting facts, lacking just one category of conjunctions can severely weaken your ability to guide a reader through a process. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought and really encourage you to audit your own writing habits today. Consciously deploy these powerful tools we've explored. If we analyzed your last 5 emails, what would we find? Do you always rely on and but? Are you missing the sophisticated hierarchy that subordinating conjunctions bring to a sentence? Or perhaps you're accidentally making comma splices every time you type the word however. Take a close look at your own work today. Mastering these essential grammatical bridges won't just make you a better writer, it's going to make you a clearer, more persuasive, and much more effective thinker. Keep building those bridges, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.